showtime. More than sports now. More than crunch time. We rush like fourth down.
I be taking wins. We don't mess with laws. I be taking wins. We don't mess with laws. I be taking wins. We don't mess with laws. I be taking wins. We don't mess with laws. We been on that paper chasing all that fashion. We been on that paper chasing what you ration.
Been in the grind now. We ready for prime time. Ready for shine now. Be ready to get smile. On the rise, all eyes up on us now. Blast off spaceships till the touchdown.
Energy level on high. Put that trouble on fire. Double it down, I'ma spit it around. Click, clack, boom, we the best in town. Energy level on high. Put that trouble on fire. Double it down, I'ma spit it around. Click, clack, boom, we the best in town. I started off the lowest point in life, though. I started off the lowest point in life, though. I started off the lowest point in life, though. I started off the lowest point in life, though. I started off the lowest point in life, though.
We getting ready to blow. What's good, y'all? What's good? Thanks for checking in the ProQuo Show. It's Pro, as you know, rocking the Celt hat. Let me tell you about the Celt hat, by the way. I got this Celt hat from my man, Tommy Grip. My last day at UDC. I'm sorry, not my last day at UDC. Making an announcement I didn't know about. My last day at Northeastern when I was teaching. Assistant professor doing the whole thing. Tommy was my TA. That's a teacher's assistant. And so I've been rocking with him for multiple years. And now he's a high school teacher. Under my tutelage, he's a high school teacher. Oh, my gosh. My goodness. Pat myself on the back. But, yeah, Tommy was the man. And so he got me this. The perfect going away gift. You know what I mean? Leaving the bean. Heading down to D.C. You know what I'm saying? This is perfect. And green and blue, I know it goes wonderfully. So congratulations on my non-matching. But that's what I'm doing. This is the year of non-matching. This is the year of green and blue. This is the year of red and yellow. I mean, red and yellow is okay, but what about red, yellow, and orange? You know what I mean? So that's what we're trying to do. But those Celts, they're starting to look okay. They made some moves. They got 5 open positions fly. They got 5 open positions. So roster spots, they got to fill. You know what that means? Means, of course, I'm looking for IT again. I got all these wing on a prayer wishes for my man to come through. So that's what it is. And speaking of my man to come through, we were going to have a guest tonight who's an incredible guest. I don't think he's checking in. And I've talked to Fly a little bit about that. I've been talking to him in the back channels. But I think my man Mission is going to be coming through. Really talented rapper, faith-based rapper, Christian rapper. So you see the connection to Fly. Serious skills, though. So speaking of serious skills, we're going to set it off with a track you might not have heard. A track you might not have heard. We're going to be talking about Snoop Dogg in a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about Kendrick Lamar. Talk a little bit about the Celtics. Talk a little bit about some hip-hop news that I want to bring to the attention. We got the Super Bowl coming up, you know what I mean? And been thinking about this, I'm trying to think about it, and I'm like, am I okay with the fact that I'm not going to have Patriots or Tom Brady in the Super Bowl? It's kind of rare, you know what I mean, that we don't have this. And then I'm going to just watch. So I'm going to be watching for commercials. I'm going to be watching for halftime. And then I'm going to be watching for the first 20 minutes. And after that, I'm thinking the game will probably be pretty boring. Who do you want to win? That's kind of the question. It's really like, who do you want to win? So I'll just put it out there. I'm rooting for the Bengals. I just kind of feel like underdog. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Tree? By the way, not that I didn't see you. I'm just getting over there. So I'm going to start with the song that you may not have heard of. All right. So let's go. Let me look. Make sure I got it in the right place. Yes, I do. All right, I got it right there. Boom. I love this joint. It's a ProQuo joint. All right, it's a ProQuo joint. And I was talking to my man Quo the other day and was just listening to some of his lyrics, and it was just like, oh my gosh, like some of these real life situations make for the best songs. And so it reminded me that we got one that you may have heard once, like way back if you were checking in with us, but it's called Smile. So tell me what you think of this. It's not 100% done. It's like, you know how we like to do. It's like 95% done. So here we go. Let's get to it. And let me actually, you know what? Let me double check because I might not have shared the audio. There we go. There's the audio. I would have been rocking by myself with it. Y'all would have been like, what is he doing? All right, here it is. I'm gonna run this. Smile. ProQuo.
Just to see my daughter smile. Disciples of the ancestors. Yeah, I base my whole life around this. We on that grown man music. And for real though,
It is about
ain't
the
no
halftime
price
show.
around this. Real talk. Let me see that high fist though. Yeah. Cruise. Look. To shine eternal in the journal is the bigger goal. Retire early possibilities, we grinding so you never know. Thoughts of having moms go to Florida anytime it's snow. Encapsulated in these vibrations, life's domination. Not saying that I'm better than you, it's all patience. Understand you either grow or go. In that world yourself is lacing. Jump in with jump balls, real good with calculation. Pumping my whole eternal, turning off the moderation. Team hardly need mediation. It's on the sleeve, there's no exaggeration. I don't read, I bleed black and blue in the conversation. I thrive in these areas of great. The smoke clears every day, check my operation. My time's filled out of filth, pulling out the gravitation. How it feel, being off your feet, high in levitation. I'm peeling fruit, sipping juice, got my Eve after consummation. That's my rib forever by my chest, the affirmation. Have my kids set me free, I believe that's the alteration. But where your faith at? Obsessing over complications. I'm pulling action out of whirlwinds, breathing over contemplations. And it just so happens me rapping is all basics. This part-time beast mode, that full-time free throw. Just to see my daughter smile, riding through the vows, base my life around this. Ain't no price around this. We anoint the righteous, get you out the vice grips. Just to see my queen smile, riding through the vows, base my life around this. Ain't no price around this. We anoint the righteous, let me see the high fist. Just to see the fam smile, riding through the vows, base my life around this. Ain't no price around this.
Hip-hop is giving me confidence, express myself publicly. I've done 1,000 shows, done, run my own companies, yeah. A lovely wife in my life, how she accompanied me through music like her vocals on tracks when they accompany. Be working hard for my queen, crown of a bumblebee. But now I teach the world through my words and still it humbles me. Be hugging my son once he wakes, his love comforts me. It's making it hard to hate on another, remaining ugly, yeah. To be the best I can be, evolving culturally, evolved in my community, living life more productively. See, ProQuo got a flow that's so brotherly. Music's so motivational, pull you through your recovery. Viewing documentary, studying more and publishing. Reading whatever's written, investigating, discovering. Be learning them lessons through lyrics and keep uncovering methods and hidden gems, effective to lessen suffering. To see my son smile,
Riding through the vows, base my life around this. Ain't no price around this. We anoint the righteous, get you out the vice grips. Just to see my queen smile. Riding through the vows, base my life around this. Ain't no price around this. We anoint the righteous, let me see the high fist. Just to see your fam smile.
You do the manual fade out.
Riding through the vows, base my life around this. Ain't no price around this.
Yeah. F dot L dot Y. Smile. Yeah. Smile. 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 Yeah.
Bro, I love that joint though.
I do, man. I do. You know, we almost put that on the album, and in retrospect, I'm like, there's maybe it could have been another track on there, but then it's something would have had to come off, and you know, I kind of like it how it is, you know.
Yeah, I could see how you could have maneuvered that into the album though, within the flow of like grandma stories and all that kind of stuff, and it would have worked.
Absolutely. Hey, it's stuff for later. And you know what? I like this. I like this joint. Actually, tell me if you can hear this without me sharing it. Do you hear this right now or no? Give me 1 sec. When I turn the volume back up. Be interested if it's still doing it without sharing the screen. I don't think it's possible. Can you hear that? Did a note just play?
Nah,
No, I didn't think so. There's got to be a way. I just don't know the. Nah, there's no way. Check this.
Might be, man, because Stream Audio, man, has been showing me some stuff, man, that I didn't know was possible.
Yeah, man, it does some things. No, but this I got to do it this way. You can play the music in the background without sharing it. It's just not the way that I'm trying to do it. Fly, let's go. Trees checking in.
Yeah, I think I did just realize though I can't stream to my socials if I'm on, if I join after the show is live. If I don't do it before, it won't let me.
Really?
Yeah, it won't give me the link.
Interesting.
Yeah, they won't give me the link to share. You know that option once you first get
I know
to it.
what
They
you're
got
saying.
that option. Yeah, that says join stream to your channel.
Well, let me do this. Let me do the second best thing. I'm going to share it to your actual page manually, my end, which isn't the full deal, but someone would be like, "Oh, there's Fly. Let me holler." So let me actually do it manually while I'm thinking of it. Shit. Whoops. I just shared it publicly. Didn't mean to do that. I'm going to share on your page, I think. Now I'm going to send it in the chat over to you so you can share the link wherever you want to share it, just like the, physically sharing the link. So you heard me send it there. But now let me play just a touch of this. Tree. Can't wait for this Super Bowl. I really can't actually, even though I got no dog in the fight. Check a couple notes of this.
I know, bro, but you know what though, man, it's hard not to root for Cincinnati, man. Like,
you have to.
Their story is amazing right now, bro.
You have to. I just think you're an evil person, or you got ties to LA. If you want. All right, here we go. Check this out. You remember this one?
In life, we taught to breathe pain, right?
Right.
And it is spiritual, but the human element of it all makes it so beautiful. You know what I mean? I didn't die to resurrect. I buried pain after I wept.
I didn't die to resurrect. I buried pain after I wept. Woo.
Old habits to an old mind state. I do reflect.
Old habits to an old mind state. I do reflect. That's what I'm saying about Quo, yo. He sets the scene with just like
Jedi, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's like I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like all the time. Every time I hear him, I go, man, I got to do that more. And then I'm like, why don't I do that when I write? But I'm more declarative statement. You know what I'm saying? And he's more. This is the way.
Imagery, yeah, man. Like he painting a picture when he rapping, man. Like
man. Yeah, just like
cool.
those are like monstrous. All right, here's a snip of something you haven't heard. Listen, this probably isn't coming out because I don't think we have this all like cleared or have the rights to the production because someone was doing something with it, and I forget. There's a long story with this production and whether or not we can actually put it out. So we'll just play a few notes of it. Well, when I say a few notes, like 30 seconds. You ever heard this one?
This sample part sounds very familiar.
Yeah, I don't think you heard the beat though. With me, I said, we on our way. We on our way, on our way, on our way.
We're here now.
Quo. Yeah. We on our way. Yeah. Self-inspiration.
Self-inspiration, yeah. Right?
Listen. I get inspired writing rhymes after hearing J's.
You know what I'm saying? I get inspired writing rhymes after hearing J's.
Feeling good in my soul like a pair of J's.
Feeling good in my soul like a pair of J's. You got
S-O-L-E. I see what you did there.
Slip it in, you know what I'm saying? Real subtle.
Listen, I get inspired writing rhymes after hearing J's. Feeling good in my soul like a pair of J's. Appearance changed just a bit from my average ways. Used to drop the bag on kicks, now it's attachés.
I see what you did there. Bag on kicks. So you just tied the second bar to the next bar.
Right. Now it's attached. And also now it's attachés. It's like it's not just the bag.
Exactly.
Well, that's the other part of it. It's drop the bag on kicks. Now it's attachés, which references the bag as well. So it's like even the bag, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just Anyways,
Clever,
you know,
bro. It's just
you
clever.
know what we
bro.
doing, man.
Yes,
You know
sir.
what we doing. Pat
Yes, sir.
ourselves on the back over there. Like, that was nice, man. I appreciate that. A lot of stuff in production. I am
So who
soaking,
produced that joint? Because that was nice.
you know, I gotta ask Quo again. I ask him like every 5 days what's the deal with it, and he like writes me a big whole thing about it, and I always forget. I actually keep screwing it up, so I don't even want to comment. You know, because this is for people behind the scenes and know what happens with us is like, you know, he starts a beat, he throws me a beat, I don't even know who made it. He's like, yo, you got to put a verse to this, and he gives me a skeleton, and he's like, yo, this is what I'm thinking of doing. So he'll give me, immediately sends me the beat, with his verse, or just the beat and says, hey, what do you think about this? You know, maybe we should be thinking about something. So sometimes I'll write first to it, but 80% of the time he's already written something to it. You know how he is. It's just like on go, go, go. So that one he sent without the verse on it. Then I sent him back my completed verse, and he's like, no, I already got something different for this. And he's like, I'm thinking of using it with some other project or whatever. And then like, I don't know, I want to say like 3 weeks ago, he was like, no, it's blah, blah, blah. And there's a lot to it. And I just can't remember the full story with that one.
I think I know what, yeah. Okay.
You know what?
Yeah.
Quo, if you're listening right now, you got to tell me what the deal is with that. If you're not, I got to text you after and hit you up on it. But it's dope. You know what I'm saying? It's dope, but it's not like a bang banger kind of thing. You know what I mean? It's more subtle, and I like that. And so one more ProQuo song. So I was in Clubhouse today, and I jumped in Tam's room from Bridging the Gap, and as soon as I jumped in, our song was playing. I mean, they play our Bridge the Gap song so often that, you know, they'll be like, yo, that's mad coincidence. I'm like, I know. It's just y'all support that song so much. She was crying today on the show when I came. She was crying about how much she loves the song, how much it means to her. It's probably the third time, honestly, that she's cried from the song. I think we're going to run that one more time. And what it is I wrote specifically about her and the things she says when she's in the room. And then it was crazy because they do a lot of real good stuff for schools and kids like that, and they're always trying to change the energy. And so we were writing about that, like trying to meet kids where they're at, whatever. And so it's almost like it's the theme song for them, basically. And Jahan was involved, and you know, our man JB made the foundation of the beat. I mean, it's just crazy. He tapped it out, and you know, I've been working a lot more with JB. We're trying to, you know, do stuff with him, and he's down here, not too far from where I am. It's almost a couple hours, honestly, but you know, it's still within reason. And trying to really support what they're doing. But you know, Jay said that this is another one. Jay's like, yo, we got to write. I didn't even know who made the beat, and it was a big long story about who was on the beat. So when Jay sends me his stuff, he usually has already pre-engineered his vocals to a point where it could honestly come out. You know, this particular one, the vocals are a little peaky, and I got to get JT to send the stuff back again. We got to probably redo this, but they run it all the way just as it is. And so I'm gonna give you just one more peek of this thing right here, which is just to get the idea of how dope the joint is. If I have it up and ready, I don't even know. I'm talking like I got it right there. No, it's over here actually. It's oops. I might have to go back. It's freezing up on me a little bit. Yeah, it's freezing up on me. Let me reset that. Try this again. There it is. All right, BTG. I hope this is the right one. So tell me if you can hear the sound. Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool. Just shout out to JB. JT's dad. JT! I was saying JB like our JB. JT's pops. 15-year-old JT. Shout out to Jahan for making this all happen. Quo sets it off. They actually like the hook. Check it out.
Yo, grandmama Mama told me put the family first. Mama told me do it harder than you ever worked. Pops told me listen more when you decide to speak. Pro told me when your time comes, be prepared to teach. I told Tam I'ma grow the beats. Worldwide youth chapters, new products for the streets. Self-made when the violence has ceased. I see the rain and sun rays over regular beef. Tears falling for the children, I'm weak. It's sad watching great-grandmother stuck in the wheat. So I'm repping the youth, better living, I'm proof. Got them seeing the truth. See the casket sales way too high, so we stay in the booth. And we way too fly to be dead in the coop.
It's the B to the T to the G, baby. We gon' bridge that gap in the streets, baby. It's the B to the T to the G, baby. We gon' bridge that gap in the streets, baby. It's the B to the T to the G, baby. We gon' bridge that gap in the streets, baby. It's that B to the T to the G, baby. We gon' bridge that gap everywhere, baby.
We bridge the gap like structural engineers. For anybody who's stuck, you discovered your tribe here. Find the dares and motivations to test them. Keep them all clear and be open to all suggestions. I take questions, help find solutions. Point the youth in the same direction the truth is. Let them discover it, never feel like we're preaching it. Cause meet them where they at is the only way to be reaching them. They think I'm teaching them cause my name is Professor though. The real jewel is every class I get better though. More professional learning from all my learners. Some are sojourners and others are Nat Turners. Revolutionary seeking to change. Looking for angels whose investors, not seeking loose change. The crew's name that's BTG, and them initials on point like CP3.
It's the B to the T to the G, baby. We gon' bridge that gap in the streets, baby. It's that B to the T to the G, baby. We gon' bridge that gap in the streets, baby. B to the T to the G, baby. We gon' bridge that gap in the streets.
Shout outs to BTG Vibe. They doing
Bridge
everything.
the gap. She
Yeah,
was on
man.
the show, right?
She was,
like, a
yeah,
couple months
yeah.
ago.
She got a heart of gold, bro. She's a faith-based woman. She puts these shows on her back. Like she talked about, I've talked with her in depth, and let me shut this page. Talked to her on depth. It's really her. We would have been getting into this with Mission if he was coming through tonight, but we'll see him soon, I'm sure. Excuse me. But she leads with her faith, as you do, and she puts it in action. She's a works person, she's a works service person, and
Absolutely.
so this is her calling. This is she's trying to end violence through music. She at the same time, it's like she's of an age where she knows what music can be and the power of what it can do, and she also knows that music gets co-opted, corrupted, whatever, and then the youth are impressionable when they're really young, and so she's had people in BTG rock on stages and then not be here anymore because of literally what it is they're trying to fight. And so they have a school group that checks in every day on that show. They check in, well, at least on Fridays, and the kids are like BTG, like they get their little chants going and whatever. They're out in like California, the school, whatever. And I it's Southern California, whatever. And there's a few things I might actually end up doing out there. And I'm going to try to make a point to actually go see that school on the low. These little kids, they don't know. They're like, when can we meet the BTG people, And
bro. Hey, let me know when you plan on doing it, man. I try to accompany you, man, on that, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Or even if we can, do something virtually, if we can't work it out that way. But they do it through Clubhouse, and they have their like 30, 40 people in there, and I just like trying to get in there whenever I can. It was actually real early this morning. I was actually in the gym, and I just stopped. I was shooting baskets at the time, and I just stopped and I was listening to them, and then it's just powerful. The stuff people in there give testimony like every day, and just how music, people's works, faith, the good intentions, just all wrapped up, seem to progress into many different directions. So they're about it. You know what I'm saying?
It's beautiful, man. It's funny you mentioned that, man, because my wife and I were just talking about our next outreach program. The last one we did, man, we did just a bunch of meals for people and stuff like that. That was probably right before the winter started. And so she reminded me that we got to get back busy. So yeah.
You're always busy. You're always busy, man.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Gotta have the headspace right. You gotta have the work balance right. We all try,
man. And for me, man, man, there's a lot of things that I probably have accomplished professionally, man, that is not nearly fulfilling as, how do I say this without it sounding?
I know exactly what you mean, but go with it.
Yeah, but it's just like I get so much joy and fulfillment out of just being present, for
Right.
people that may not be as fortunate, or just, it's that mode, like, that when you're in the classroom and you see the kid that gets it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's really a selfless act, man. Even when you even as a teacher, even if you show up to get paid to do it, man, it's still not what you're giving. Like the word, there's no amount of money that they can pay you for what you do as a professor. You know what I'm saying? Because you're invested into these kids. And I'm the same way at work, and I guess that's probably contributed to my successes, man. That I don't really just see those people as another, number, as a badge ID, man. I see them as people.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
I teach them how to be the best version of themselves. It ain't just about the job.
right. No, absolutely. I mean, I was, for me, there's no age that it stops at.
Right.
Quite honestly, I was doing some professional development with faculty today, from home, and very important stuff, like stuff that's like really important for people's career, has to do with their like promotions and tenure and stuff
Right.
like that, and portfolios and all these things we do as faculty. And I was working with some faculty. Some of them are younger, some of them are older. And when I say older, like I mean like well older than like my own parents. You know what I'm saying? And so
Right.
I think about that, and it doesn't stop. It doesn't matter really for me what the age is. Like a lot of times we do get fixated on doing what we can for the youth, as we should. But
Right.
people are in need, man. We can put up the facade like we're professional adults or whatever, but people are in need at all ages. We see it exacerbated through COVID, and yeah, like you said, in
Absolutely.
the workplace, it's beyond just what you're doing at the workplace. It's
Yeah.
to carry over
Yeah.
into all
Yeah.
aspects.
I mean,
So
because if you think about it that way, man, the way you explained it, man, we're all stepping into something new. I mean,
absolutely,
if you're 60, you never lived it as a 65-year-old. So every day there's an adventure or
yeah,
a piece of information that we can glean from someone else. And listen, I've been teaching this to my kids, like be yourself, be open, be sponges. You gotta learn how to eat the meat and throw away the bone, right? Because you can
mm,
get this conglomerate of information from our society, but all of it, you find a lot of pockets of good information where there's just this little bit of good information, but the rest is just either irrelevant,
right,
unnecessary, or probably not as good. And so I teach them just how to eat the meat and throw away the bone. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And so it's just like I remember watching Sesame Street with my oldest. He's the oldest. He's 15 now. But when he was younger, man, he was crazy about Sesame Street, man. I don't remember learning that much from Sesame Street as a kid when I was his age as I did as an adult watching it with my son.
yeah. Then you get it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, wow, this is powerful.
Mm.
And it's profound. I said it to say, man, just like we can learn at any age, man,
Oh,
any stage of our
absolutely. Yeah.
life, man. Like just in conjunction with what you
Lifelong
were
learning,
saying.
bro. Lifelong learning.
Lifelong learning, bro.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
like me, I'm always advocating for what I do, and I'm like anybody really wants to teach, man. It's I mean, there's the great teaching exodus that's going on right now, and it's actually a great time for people who are considering career switches out of teaching, because the industry is scooping up the great, teaching migration that's been going on. A lot of people just leaving teaching just because it's grueling work. It's not what people think. For people that do it a lot, it's taxing, and um, I think partly my previous work that I did when I was in Boston, I was teaching all over the place, but I'm not really in a teaching phase of my life right now, to be honest. I only
Right.
teach a class here and there, and I love it though. So I'm always trying to take on another adjunct course. If my university doesn't have like one, maybe two courses for me a semester, I'm like, yo, can I teach a course somewhere else? If someone, and they're like, yeah, within reason, so because I got to get my little fix in. But no, I see it more through like the faculty development, the professional development. It's just a lot of people say, "Yo, I thought you were like more about the students." I'm like, "No, I'm about anybody, bro. I'm like
Anybody.
equal opportunity." It's like when you get to help people, it's
Equal
helping yourself
opportunity
all the time.
educator.
Yeah, man, and it's like whatever you can share, whether it's real life or not. Actually, truthfully, I'm in a weird zone of my own with personal development where, um, because of COVID, the people who were sort of naturally filling mentorship roles for me,
Yeah.
for who serve as like my mentors. I actually don't really have them in my world right now. So not like on
How
any
does
kind of
that
consistent
happen?
basis. Physically, how's it happen, or what does
Explain,
it
yeah,
mean?
explain just the whole
Well,
mentorship piece, man.
when
Because
I
we always talking about that for
yeah
artists, and we, we all look to you, as the professor, the professional, right? So, but this is important though to be able to just like explain to people
yeah
like the lifelong learner part, even at your stage as an educator and as a lyricist. What can people get from having mentors, even though you've accomplished so much?
yeah it's funny. It's I think it's regardless of age in both places. I've had plenty of mentors that are younger than me. I don't even consider people's age when they're mentors. I mean, shout out to my man Roberto Martinez. I mean, he was my professor at Harvard. um, he's the smartest human I've ever met in my life. I think he's 10 years younger than me.
Yeah,
Maybe not 10, maybe like 7, 8 years younger than me. And I mean, that just speaks to it, right? I had this super young Harvard professor at the time with a I hope he's listening, with a dual PhD in physics and mathematics.
that's
And
crazy.
from Harvard. And we're into the same stuff. And he really actually pushed me. Like, even right now, I'm doing a lot of stuff with quantum. I mean, it was conversations with him that really propelled me into not thinking I was crazy about some of the thoughts that I had. And he's like, no, you should run with that. We have these, offline discussions or whatever all the time, just little things, not even big, deep things all the time, just to sort of say, oh, like there's someone else who thinks like that, or there's someone else who's maybe done way more than I have in my own field. Like, I'll say a lot of times, like I'll say, we could probably all answer this question. When you compare, like, if you do hip hop in any way, my hip hop ability far exceeds my math ability. Like, I'm a
Man,
way better
absolutely.
rapper than I am mathematician.
Yeah,
It's like this, and I'm good at mathematics. It's not like don't know what I'm doing at educating and teaching and doing mathematics. I certainly do. I've been doing it for a long time, but it's not in the same world. So this dude is like way up there in terms of, like, we always have that. You look and you're like, how could I be like this dude sometime? And so again, he's younger than me. Then at my traditional day-to-day kind of thing at UDC now, where I'm out here, I do have some faculty who are much older than me. Who were mentors to me. And there's a couple who were younger. Not many. Most of them are actually older at this
right.
particular, just the way the ball falls. And I don't see them in my day-to-day grind. But what it is like a lot of them will check you on policy procedure kind of stuff that they know really well, like, oh, you didn't do X, Y, and Z. Oh, you got to do that, bro. That's like the give. And I'm thinking in my head, like, oh yeah, I'm thinking that's the way it should be done. But you need to hear it from them sometimes. And again, it doesn't matter if they're older or young. And then you have what this leads to is it leads to confidence. And it also then it becomes a rapport with that person that can be a soundboard when you're totally going in the wrong direction. And then you take advice as needed. So it's just with COVID, those people are kind of like not around for me. It's not like I'm not a very needy kind of like
Right.
I'm not a very I need your advice kind of person in general. It's not
Yeah.
my makeup, but I seek it if it's right in front of me. I'm not like gonna turn it down, and since I'm an introvert and it's not in front of me, I'm like, great, I'm chilling, but I miss out on that piece, I
Right.
guess. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. No, I feel you, bro. I feel you, man. I had a situation, man, and I got to get better, man. And just reminded me, man, one of my closest friends, he's probably one of the oldest friends I've got. He was probably the
Mhm.
first person I ever made music with. When it came to getting in the studio and recording, I probably was maybe like 15 or 16 or something like that, man. And, his dad was into like music producing and stuff like that, and kind of taught him. He had a studio at his house, MPC 2000, Roland Phantom XL, like all that type of stuff, like in the early 2000s. And so like we kind of started a little rap group and all that kind of stuff. But this is like my brother, right? And man, he shot all my videos for my last album, right? And so we were just kind of,
Mm.
and had a situation where he shared, some thoughts with me, and it was just like, bro, it was almost as if like the picture that was painted was as if I was being selfish, you know,
Mm.
on being
Wow.
from being, and I'm there's not I don't want to say there's not a selfish bone in my body, because that probably would be a lie. But I will say that I have never intentionally been selfish, right? I'm always considerate of other people. But to his point, which is why it's important to have mentors, or even just be open to have people in your life that, even if they're not a mentor, but that can speak to you in a way that most people wouldn't, because they admire you or look up to you or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so just having people around you that can say exactly what nobody else would say. You know what I'm saying? That make you evaluate yourself. And he's that person for me in a lot of ways. And it reminded me of how introverted I am, man. I was just like, bro, you know what? I didn't realize that.
Bro.
You know, I didn't realize that.
Well, COVID's like a holiday, man. You know,
For real,
it's like for introverts.
I'm cool if I don't ever see you, if I don't ever talk to you, bro. It's like, it's not that I desire to not be social, but it's just like when I'm not being social, it don't bother me.
Not at all, bro.
Like
I'm
at all.
My glory. I'm in my glory. I had to go out a couple hours before this, and you know, I was interacting with people, whatever, and I'm just like, I've always been relatively awkward when there's no music or education discussion going on anyways. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll say this, you know, you always want to position yourself on your good foot, you know, and it's like people get shocked all the time. I'm sure it happens with you. Like, yo, you're an introvert. Like, bro, like, you know, like are you kidding me? I was talking with my man Bernard Hankins, who we're gonna have on. I mean, we had this discussion last week, and we were just going on and on about, like, we are two peas in a pod when it comes to the introvert thing, and which makes Clubhouse so appealing, because it's like, I don't gotta go see you, I don't even gotta see your face. I just click the thing, and I'm not one of those, I just need human interaction. No, I don't need much human interaction, like far less than the average person. Let's just say that. And this for me is great. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like I don't gotta leave the house. You know, I'm chilling right here. I'm talking. Clubhouse is like that for me. Now, don't get me wrong. People that I know, I'm like a normal person with. You know what I'm saying? I think in the same way. People I'm comfortable with, I'm totally extroverted. That's why I can be relatively extroverted in a thing like this, or at least I think so, compared to my normal me. But it's a learned process. But you give me an excuse to stay in the crib, to write some rhymes, to stay up in this little room, like to, you know, do research. Like there's a reason why I have a doctorate, and a master's, and a bachelor's, right? Because I'm able to stay in one place for a long time and just buckle in, you know what I mean? And just take the torture and suck it. And I get why a lot of people wouldn't want to do that, because if you're extroverted, it's extremely hard. Actually, I think it's hard to be in the sciences. And you look in the sciences, they're almost all extroverts. I mean, introverts all over the place. You know, how many mathematicians and scientists have you met that are like extremely like gregarious people? Like, hey, how's it going? You know, and
man, you have to spend too much time in your own head, man. It's like art in that way. You know, it's a lonely process. Yep,
very lonely process, and lonely in a good way.
in a great way, bro.
People be like, "Oh, I'm lonely." I'm like, lonely to me is not a very negative word, you know what I'm saying? But then again, only child, you know what I'm saying? Like, you figure it out, you know. But my son is way more extroverted than I am, but he has a lot of introverted tendencies. Don't get me wrong; he's kind of in the middle, but on the middle is still way more extroverted than me, and so I, you know, he's only child too. So I think about it. I'm like, you know, like what can I do for him to. So I try to be, you know, sort of that rock for him right now, and then coach him through it. And he's certainly gaining his little social base or whatever. But me, man, I was just straight goofy nerd, like, you know, not your classic nerd, but like nerd internally. Maybe didn't look like one as much on the outside. Well, there's certainly some phases where I did, but you know, I think people could be like, yo, he's just mean or something like that. No, I'm just awkward and don't know how to talk to you. Yeah. Now I can crack light jokes about it. But I wasn't, you know,
man.
But
it's so true, bro. But I mean, it is what it is, man. And
not
that's
mad
what
at
all ties into the success, man, of being a writer, man, is because it's a very long
Speaking
process,
of success, bro, what's up with your boy Snoop? Have you heard about this stuff?
I have not, man. I've been so disconnected this week,
All right. So obviously he's the man, right? And he's in Clubhouse quite a bit. He'll jump in Clubhouse and there'll be 1,000 people in the room because Snoop comes in. He just hangs in there. You can just talk with Snoop. So I'm gonna share this screen. Check this out. So clearly you didn't hear the news.
I
So
have not.
let me
I've been kind of like monitoring NBA trade deadline news. This
yeah,
the only
no,
thing I
that's
checked
okay.
for this week.
But
I'm
you missed
usually
you
better.
missed this though.
Yeah, I'm usually better about it.
Look up.
What?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. Snoop Dogg attends a nomination announcements, blah, blah, blah. Snoop Dogg is officially in charge of Death Row Records. The announcement that the rapper has acquired the label came Wednesday. It's a sentimental move considering Death Row Records launched his career in the 90s with his debut album Doggy Style. I'm
That's
thrilled and
exactly what it
appreciative of
is.
the opportunity to acquire the iconic and culturally significant Death Row Records brand, which has immense untapped future value, the rapper said in a statement. Snoop is no dummy. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude he's
You
about that
you
business.
talking about NFTs, bro? For the stuff with Death Row and
Yeah, but
Pac,
he also tells you straight up, because I don't know anything about that. He goes, my son does. He's like, my son's in charge of that, because he's the man. He goes, I owe all my success with the NFTs and anything crypto related to my son.
That's brilliant, bro. That's
Yep.
brilliant. Like you said, he's no dummy, and I think some of it was to as a contribution to its former owner and just kind of mending some ties and stuff like that. It probably put a little money in his pocket. I think he kind of been away from a while and not been able to really just move around. But it's brilliant, man. It's brilliant, man. You can put Death Row Records on a T-shirt right now with Tupac face on the back. Anything that Death Row owns. I wonder how that works with the masters or if the music came with it too.
But check this though. Have you heard about this one? I don't know if you can see it right there. Look at this.
I can't. Okay, Antonio Brown named president of Donda Sports, and then but we already knew that. We saw them together.
But I mean, seriously, like, what is he doing? Is he writing, like, is he writing 401k briefs? I mean, what does that mean? He's the new president of Donda Sports. You know what I'm saying?
That could be anything, bro.
Like, you're just a face, bro. Like, you ain't a president.
Absolutely, you're just the face of putting a NFL talent on the face of an NFL endeavor.
Antonio Brown wants to
NFL people.
Antonio Brown wants to buy one NFL team with what? Like, how you like, what percentage are you gonna own? Antonio Brown does not have that kind of money.
Most people don't have that kind of money.
No, absolutely.
Not buy a team, bro.
Not somebody who's done. I mean, your biggest paycheck is gone now. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
man, there's not a current
I mean, hey, get that money, but get that money if you can. But and I was checking out this too. This Kendrick Lamar, like, people have been waiting on the Kendrick Lamar singles. You see the singles that are about to come out though in 2022?
I haven't.
Check us out on the bottom. People waiting on. So Kendrick been teasing about dropping stuff, and it just hasn't come out yet. So he's saying ahead of the Super Bowl performance, be looking for the Kendrick Lamar joint to drop. All right. So people have been waiting on him for a while, right? Even if Kendrick doesn't release something, hip hop fans can dive into the projects from look at the list. Kanye West, Lil Durk, King Von, Currency, Alchemist, Conway the Machine. I mean, all coming out,
a lot
right?
Of people dropping.
Yeah. 2022 Hip Hop DX Rising Star ESTG. Sada Baby. I mean, that's all coming, this month. But anyways, I'm excited about the Super Bowl. I can't wait to finally see like real hip hop take over the Super Bowl.
I mean, this is, and you know what? So I'm getting ready to kick off my little. I don't want to say getting ready because it's definitely still in the planning stage.
We're getting ready to.
But hey, shout out to Art of Homage too, man, for the Yahweh shirt.
Oh yeah. I gotta get me one of them. Shout out to Quo's brother for the ProQuo. Actually, no, I designed this. What am I talking about? That's my design. I designed that one, baby.
Yeah, this is all them, man. This is absolutely just a big coincidence, man. This is something that the company does, man. It's a faith-based company, man. This is just one of their things, but everything that they have that has Yahweh on it, I buy it.
Of course.
And so I think it's dope, bro. And so I'm working on. They don't know it yet, but we're gonna be in partnership.
Oh, you gotta sell those to you.
Absolutely, man. So shout out to Art of Homage, man. Black-owned company, man. Faith-based company, man. Inspirational, premium gear, and in addition to that, man, it's just what I'm constantly seeing, like by watching, Snoop buy Death Row Records, just kind of this thing for me, bro, is that like as much as we give to hip hop, man, we don't even own our own culture. Like everybody profits off of the culture
Well, did you see the Jim Jones thing the other day with Gucci by any chance? I don't know.
Didn't.
It wasn't that well known. So let me throw this out there for people. Jim Jones, Gucci. I watched this the other day as it was happening.
We're making everybody else rich, man, off of our culture, man.
Dude, wait to see this.
Pennies, bro.
Wait to see this video though. He was just heated in the store. They weren't paying attention to him. So you know how that goes down. Check this out. Watch this. Let's go, Jim Jones. Oh, again, I didn't share the sound. Sorry. Let me do this one more time. It's like, you think, like, bro, you know I'm trying to share sound. Don't make me have to click it 20 times. You know what I'm saying?
Every time. Yeah, it
It's
should be just like a one-time thing.
You got to hit like 5 buttons. It's like irritating. All right. I know I'm spoiled, but that's how it is. Not Antonio Brown. Now he lost the window. Come on, I'm just gonna throw up any window and then research for it. So here, let's go here. Go here. We'll go to Jim Jones Gucci. And we'll go. Tell me if you can hear the video. Sometimes when I go through a separate thing, I can't hear the video, so definitely you can't. Come on now, what's going on? I tapped. All right, we're gonna have to pull this off of. We're gonna have to pull that off of whatchamacallit in a second. Off Instagram or off. Actually, I first saw it on Twitter. I think.
Twitter, that's my new spot. I spend more time on Twitter now than I do anything else.
That's your new spot.
That's my new spot, bro.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard for me, man, to give all these platforms my attention at one time, bro. I'm like a one and done guy.
Hey, let's go Twitter. Twitter. Jim Jones. Oops.
Yeah, I spend a lot more time on Twitter, man, in the last couple of weeks.
All right. Can you hear the sound?
I cannot.
You cannot?
Not yet.
That was a no?
No, I don't hear any
when
sound.
it's just pumping so loud in my head, I couldn't hear it. Let me see if I can get it one more time now. It's worth it. Oh, I know why you can't. Because I'm sharing the wrong thing here. This should work. Tell me if this is a yes.
Right?
Yes?
Yeah, I can hear that.
All right, here we go.
Gucci for about an hour. We've been in Gucci for about an hour. Right? And we in Gucci in the VIP.
We've been in Gucci for like 2 hours.
Right? Since we came in here having nobody came and showed us no courtesy, no amenities, no nothing. Period. Not even a drink of water. Asked to speak to the manager.
And you know they be bringing you the
Send me a
bottles of
black
water.
guy
in
out
those
here that
stores.
start telling me some bullshit. So they got the black guy racial profiling on black people.
He's like, where's my
Asked
water?
to speak to a manager bigger than him. Everybody disappeared. Ain't nobody come out yet. I still ain't getting no sparkling water. I still ain't getting no champagne. I still ain't getting nothing. I didn't have a salesperson inside of my VIP suite the whole time I was there. I had to keep screaming for VIP people to help me out. Now everybody don't know where the real manager is. You heard? I'm tired of this. We spending all this money as entertainers inside these stores. They hire these black people, and these black people are more racist than white people when they get their job. Inside of Gucci. All of a sudden, you stop playing with us, bro. Still haven't seen a manager yet. Still haven't seen a manager yet. Since I'm talking to you right now, a manager still hasn't popped out of Gucci. And the bill is like $29,000, but we didn't pay that yet. You heard? Why would we? They still haven't sent a manager or bottle of sparkling water or anything that says that we appreciate your service for being in here in Gucci and spending that bag.
The big one.
The big one. They sent this guy.
Yeah, nah.
What is he possibly going to do? You heard? What is he going to do? Is what I want to know. Still haven't seen a manager. Is there a manager that works here or everybody's just a worker?
Wow.
Yeah, he was heated.
He was heated, bro.
Yeah, I feel it. I mean, you know.
I feel it too, man. Like
He's
I was
getting that cold
passionate,
shoulder.
bro. Like I was all into that, bro. Like the passion is just exuded, and you could tell like the frustration. But at the same time, this is my thing, and this is why I'm coming with, mark this phrase, man, question the culture. Because there's too many things that go on in our society that we just accept as norms. And
chopping $29,000 for jewelry at Gucci,
and that's the other.
That's never gonna be normal for me,
right?
Yeah.
That's the other side of it. You know me, man. Like I approach everything the same way. You know, I try to approach everything like completely unbiased, right? And so I'm listening to the video, and I'm thinking to myself about questioning culture. This thing, this is constantly in my head when I evaluate every process, and I'm thinking to myself, number one, why is this man being treated this way? And he's in there, obviously in the VIP section, which means it was intentional.
Because he's black,
right? All right, because he's black. Number two, why is he in VIP at Gucci? Why are you spending that money with somebody else? Why are you spending $29,000 there? Right? So there's like question the culture.
But hey, maybe he was questioning it though. I gotta give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe he because he said I'm tired, so maybe he knew. He brought the phone. He's like, watch me go up in here, and if they front, I'm gonna put them on blast real quick.
Right.
You know, so maybe he was a little setting them up, maybe just tired of it. You know, but you could tell it was genuine. But it was genuine.
Absolutely,
not genuine.
bro. And that's just how I feel, man. We gotta question. But the same thing applies to any institution, man. It ain't just necessarily about race. It's about culture. Because
it's mostly race.
but every organism, every institution has a culture.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So it may be the culture at your workplace, at your university.
Right.
What's the culture? You know what I'm saying? Question it. Is it healthy for you? And back into the whole personal development thing, is something that I know that I'm very passionate about. Just however I can help another person become the best version of themselves. Like, and the way I approach it, every situation is, how do I evaluate the culture? Like, is this a conducive environment for me? Is it the culture, or is it me? Am I part of what's wrong with the culture? How am I improving the culture? You know, and why am I existing in the culture? These are the questions that no matter what the environment, whether it's the work culture, home culture, hip hop culture, whatever it is, we got to question the culture. And so I'm working towards, that, because I just want to dive into why we make some of the decisions that we make. I am probably the biggest champion for self-accountability. Like, we got to own our own stuff, no matter what it is, right? And I ain't talking about, like, I'm just going to go out and limb. I'm not talking about, like, a rape victim. Like, that person's a victim. But when it comes to me being in a situation that's uncomfortable for me, what decisions that I make to get me there, too? Even though when the outcome don't turn out to be, what I want them to be. So sometimes we complain, and the complaint could be just as legit as our bad decision was to get us in that same situation. So addressing that part too is just like, sometimes people think it always has to be one or the other. No, the culture can be wrong. Like the university could be racist, but you still could have just went somewhere else too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so we just have to look at both sides of the spectrum, and then own what's ours, and then call out what's
no doubt.
wrong.
What up, Beppy? Yeah, no, I would say this. I would add in that I'm very, as you know, it's not a secret. I'm very left of center, right? I'm when it comes to ideology, and a lot of that is informed by my economic sort of theories and principles, right? And I'm very basic. It's not like super deep stuff. I'm just like, does it make sense with all of the purchasing power that we all have as individuals that we're going to purchase what it is that we purchase or support what we support? Right. Like, I mean, we talk about it a lot. Like, even when we do, we add the humor into it. When we do the, let me do it right now, by the way, when we do the official sponsor is Philips light bulbs. Now, right, think about, we were talking about a little bit before, we were talking about like following the trail, right, of like who owns what. And, we think about, okay, it's probably hard for us. There's a point at which the convenience of saying, I really want to be a critical thinker and buy my light bulbs from something that's going to help come back to me, right, or my community. Right. And something like light bulbs is a little difficult, right? Like, it's like, how am I going to find? But this is what we've done, though. I've been talking about this for 20 years before it was a thing, when there was only really, at the time, Walmart was just sort of coming to Massachusetts, really making an impact. Not just coming, but they weren't everywhere like they are now. You know, you used to have to do a lot of work to get a Walmart into your city. Like you had to, first of all, you have to have a ton of land. You have to have people cleaning the areas where all the people might litter. Just like a McDonald's, there's certain things you got to do with a McDonald's. It's a little easier to get a McDonald's, obviously, than it is to get a Walmart or, whatever the big box store is. And it's like, we all know this. We all know it. We know that when we go to Walmart, we're killing mom and pop stores. We know that, right?
Right.
When we buy anything and we buy it from the big store as opposed to the corner store, we're taking money out of some little guy's hands and giving it to the big guys, right?
Right.
But granted, the big guys employ little guys, but they pay them next to nothing comparatively. And we also know that a lot of times these big corporations, they actually don't pay taxes, right? They defer taxes as benefits to come into the city, and they put a stranglehold on the local representatives and the Senate in many cases. And usually it's local representation that they come in and they just basically say, hey, look, we got 1,000 jobs we're going to bring into your community. Either you defer our tax or we go elsewhere. And entertainment is no different. It's really how Massachusetts has, through the Mass Film Office, it's how they attracted all the films that they did in Massachusetts. It's not that people like, hey, I love Massachusetts, let's do movies there. They made aggressive tax concessions to bring in these movies, to increase the jobs, to make Mass a destination place for the movie industry to come so they can build an industry. But at what point do you scale back and say, look, enough's enough, we're going to scale back on these tax benefits, right? And now we look at the incredible disparity there is, and this is where my left-leaning stuff comes in. There is massive wealth inequality that's grown to, some of the all-time levels that we've ever seen. And, people are now paid $15 an hour. And at one time people were crying holy hell about that, but that's not even nearly enough to live in any kind of city. When you look at the wealth of Black people in Boston, it is about $6. The actually, if you look at, you can go through and do all the wealth of Black. If you're a Black person living in Boston, your net worth is about $6. Compared to like white families, which are ridiculously floating around like $100,000 or whatever the number is. Where the median income in the country is somewhere around $50,000 to $60,000, right? If you're lucky. Boston is way higher, but if you're Black, it's $6, and that's a clear, obvious Black and white thing. But to your point earlier, it's not always race, right? It's usually along race lines because we know that's the easiest way to differentiate, but it could be, it could be people coming in through whatever it is, immigration. Sometimes it's young people, retired people, but mostly let's just be honest and keep it a billion. That it is usually along racial lines because there's segregation in schools like Boston, in cities like Boston, that are at all-time peaks for how segregated they are. And we were supposed to have fixed that back in the mid-'60s, right? But you go to, I say this, I've done a bunch of podcasts lately. I've said the same kind of thing and talk about it in most every single issue. And every time I get on a stage, people will talk about Boston, whatever. And I'll be like, to your surprise, probably, Boston is not a white city. Boston is a predominantly city of color. When you look at if you go online right now and you look at Boston public schools and go look at what the percentage of people of color is, it's a higher percentage of color than it is the traditional predominantly white environments, right? People don't know that about Boston because that's not what they show you, because it's extremely segregated. So all the Boston communities, whether it's Mattapan, Dorchester is a little different because it still has a strong Irish population in there, so there's a lot of white people in there. But for the most part, if you're Black, you live in Mattapan, you live in Roxbury, you might live in Jamaica Plain. Of course you can live in other places, but we know statistically, if you're just going to take a bullseye and try to find where people are going to be of color, we know the communities that they live in Boston. And you go into the schools and you're like, oh, wow, this school is all Black and brown. I would have never guessed, because when I see Boston on TV, I don't see Black and brown people, right? So how is that possible? Because it's so segregated. And Boston's not alone. There's tons of cities like this. And so you look at this kind of stuff and it just makes and again, it's not strictly about race. I know it's also a class thing, but I sometimes get pissed when people just want to talk about class because it's like a nicer way to talk about the things they don't want to talk about when it's usually race-based, It's like, okay, I get it. It's class. Yes, I get it. Argument given. But every single time we're taking money and we bring it to a big store like that, we're cashing our check. We're writing the check actually and saying, I don't care because I'd rather save $1.50, or on my grocery bill. And I can't judge because I don't know somebody else's bill situation, but I'm saying this about myself. I don't know if it applies for you. I don't need to save $1.50 at Walmart, but do we sometimes go there though? Yeah. And it's like, well, why did we forget how? I'm pretty conscious about that stuff, and I'm probably like 80% of the time I won't go to a Walmart if I can go elsewhere. But it's getting so hard to not go to Walmart or the, whatever the big box stores are, because there's nothing else to choose from, so it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. I kind of started this habit of going to Kroger because even then, like, I just didn't want to go to Walmart. Like, I felt this way a long time about Walmart. So there's some things that I get from Walmart. I don't necessarily hate Walmart. I mean, I appreciate the convenience of needing multiple things that aren't related to each other and being able to go one place and get it and get it all. But I usually try to avoid it, man. Like I say, but now Kroger has gotten so big now, especially with the Buffett investment and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm kind of getting a little turned off by that. But being in the city like I am, there's one mom and pop's joint. But it's not even a mom and pop joint, bro. It's another chain. And what people don't know, these larger companies owns these smaller lookalike mom and pop stores. They're just like subsidiaries, right? So they have ways of dealing with, like, for example, Walmart will only carry certain brands,
right?
And so there might be off brands that they may distribute off through with buying power to these other brands that are smaller, and so in some way they still getting the money for it. So it's getting really hard, like I said, to differentiate between where to go and where not to go based on those clues alone, because of the size of the store. Because they kind of like with Dollar General, man. Dollar General has boomed in the last 5 years. They're probably building one every few months, but then you realize that Warren Buffett pumped a bunch of money into as an investment, and you realize, like, man, the wealth disparity has grown, like you said, astronomically in the pandemic. It's only made it worse, bro. It's only made it worse. And it's like, how do we determine how to come together as a people? And like you said, we have the power to change what's going on, but trying to get us all on the same page and accord, because we're all about convenience now. Right. And I'm one of those people, man. Like, I'm down for anything that's gonna create a good change and try to change some of the disparity that we're dealing with. And people talk to me about class, bro. I don't engage, because I know that classes were created because of racial disparity.
Absolutely. Like what, or if you want to appease folks and shut them up in that argument, say race exacerbates class, if you wanted to say it that way. You know what I'm saying? That might quiet them down for a minute. Check this out, right? Popeyes. You know how many damn Popeyes there are near me? Now, I live in the city of Alexandria, right? Now, if I lived in the suburb part of the area that's around here, it'd be different. You wouldn't see any Popeyes. Man, there's a Popeye right outside my corner. I was driving with my son earlier today. We come off the other side of the street. We're down this other part right over by the mall. There's a Popeyes right over there. You can't avoid freaking Popeye. You can't avoid unhealthy eating. You can't avoid. So it's really tough. I mean, when I pull out, right, this is what I see in order. When I go down my hill and I turn right. So there's a little new supermarket there. It's like a nice one because they put it in the bottom of the condo, a real nice one, right? Like a high class kind of grocery store chain that's down here. Immediately across from that, it's Popeyes, it's Taco Bell, it's Wendy's. There's a few other little small kind of strip mall kind of little stores, right? There's like a Korean barbecue, right? So there's a Mexican restaurant on the corner, very authentic one. And then it's McDonald's. And then it's another strip mall. And in that strip mall, there's a Dairy Queen. There's a Hot Wings. Of course, there's Five Guys, right? Then there's a whole bunch of big box kind of restaurants. There's what's the one with the breadsticks and the pasta?
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden. There's an Olive Garden. There's a Texas Roadhouse, and then there's across the street, there's the place my son loves to go, which is District Taco. And then again, it's the same, like the pattern repeats. And it's like McDonald's, it's just, our McDonald's, right? The McDonald's, they're I'd say a quarter of a mile apart, like consistently.
Wow, that's crazy.
And the Popeyes are like 3 miles apart consistently. Like it's Popeyes all over the place.
They've changed their mats, bro. They usually wouldn't put them that close together.
Yeah, man, it's great. They don't care because the franchise fees these days are so high that they don't even mind cannibalizing themselves in many cases. That's the Subway business model. Subway, you'll see Subways so close. You're like, how can this be? They don't care because the franchise fee, if it's like $75,000 to start up, for your opening costs and then $100,000 for your physical plant, whatever. They'd rather just take the franchise fees. Check this out, though. I want to show you back to the Walton thing.
And the
So-
royalties too, bro. They pay like 4 to
Well, yeah,
7%
on
on
the
the
backside.
sales too.
Absolutely. No, I know you know
It's
that better than me.
Absolutely.
Check this. Richest people in America. This is the 2019, but it barely changes. You know, COVID has only exacerbated it, right? So this is the 2019 one. Oh no, this is 2021. So there's your Jeff Bezos, right, at 177 billion. You got Elon Musk, who's jumped into second place at 151. It's probably going to take a hit because he lost 40 of his satellites the other day that he sent up in space. You got Bill Gates, of course. He can't even give away enough money. You got Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook. Most of this is unreal. It's not like the dude is like balling out in his wallet because most of this is in stock holdings. Understood. Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, Larry Ellison, Oracle, all the big players forever. Larry Page, Sergey Brin, Google, Steve Ballmer, you know him from the Clippers,
Microsoft,
right?
yeah.
Microsoft,
Microsoft
Alice
money.
Walton, and Jim Walton, and S. Robinson, Rob Walton Jr. So remember I said you don't hate
That's
it yet?
Walmart, bro. Walmart would be if any of them owned all the Walmart
trust fund,
stock,
bro.
they'd be the richest people in the world.
Bro, this is the trust fund kids of the Walmart.
The trust fund kid. And bro, keep
61
this, bro.
billion, 60 billion, and 59.5 billion. And people want to tell me they're paying the employees well. Oh, are they really? Like, are they really? Is that what they're doing? They're paying the employees well at Walmart?
Bro,
Is that
no,
really
no
what's
business
happening?
model works where the employees get more money than the profit.
No.
It's just there's no business model ever set up like they're not a successful one, bro. These people don't make billions of dollars because they give away most of their money.
Yeah, Epi's writing. What's Epi writing? Epi was writing some stuff about square roots and stuff. I couldn't follow it, Epi. I was trying. Hold on, maybe I'll go back to it. Remember, there's America, then the U.S. Canada was owned by a queen. South America was owned by a queen, and the U.S. started as a republic and is now a democratic republic out of Washington D.C. I'm not sure what you're getting at, but okay, that got you. What do you? I'm not sure how you conclude in what your point is, though.
Bro, well, peep this out, bro. Stan Kroenke, the guy that owns the Rams.
Yep.
One of the Waltons is his wife.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, they're not falling too far from the tree.
Paid, bro. The brothers, the oldest brother,
Washington,
the
right?
co-founder of Walmart, Sam's brother, his daughter that inherited, like, she owns like a couple she owns like the Denver Nuggets or something like that because NFL puts this clause where you can't own more than one major sport team, right? So he put the Nuggets in her name while he owns the Rams, and he got they own a professional team in every professional sport, even some smaller leagues, right? And so this lady's already rich without him, right? And so and then now he comes in with all these billions of dollars. Like, it's crazy, bro. You'd be surprised how connected some of these ownerships are too.
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
It's crazy, bro. It's crazy, bro.
I mean, you think about these, all three of them, right? Making around 60 billion, right? If you divide that by 10, 60 billion, you go down to 6, right? That's 10. Every finger is in a power of 10, right? So we're down to 6 billion, 600 million, 60 million, 6 million, 600,000, right? And I'm on to 5 hands. So just even think about 600,000 for a second, and now think 60,000. All right. So that's a 1 followed by this many zeros. So that's 6 zeros. So watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? 10,
how many people
100,
could you have?
1,000. Right. That's what I'm getting at. 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, million. Right. And I just split that up, and I was just trying to give people sort of the look of that. Right. You go from 6 billion. I'm going to do it one more time. You go billion divided by 10. You're at 6. Well, we went from 60 to 6. 600 million. 60 million.
Crazy, bro.
6 million. 600,000, and now we're down to $60,000, right? And the point is that is what we were talking about. Like, the average household income is not even 60,000. It's not even.
Not many people that can make rich, bro.
Right.
Just
and right. So I divided that up that many times, right? Because sometimes you have to just physically see that to see what the heck you're talking about when you're talking about $60 billion, how much that is, right? I could divide that by 1 million. You know what I'm saying? and be at $60,000. You know, so it's like you could give 1 million people that $60,000. You know, so it's just, I don't know, it's just crazy. But when you think of how many, just think about all the teachers there. Like sometimes I'll do this. I'll sit around and I'll do something like this. Right, I'm going to put a different link up here.
That's insane, bro.
Let me put a different one up here. Richest people in the world. Watch this. How many teachers in the USA? All right. So 3.6 million teachers in 2017. Let's go crazy and say there's 4 million teachers in the United States, right? So play those little games, like just do the finger math, right? And yeah, we can make mistakes, but we write it down. We won't make mistakes. I know I'm saying this stuff fast. If I miss a zero, I'm sorry. But 4 million teachers. What if they all made an extra? Let's do it again, right? 4 million teachers. Let's say we give them an extra $10.
$20.
Well, just do it one at a time, right? We give them an extra $10 each. We give them an extra $100 each. We give them an extra 1,000, 10,000, right? Go up to 100,000. You think about how many factors that is, right? So how much more you want to add on to the end of their check, and you can say, how many ways can I divide up those billions, and how many of those teachers could get paid? So it's like they're all current. On average, teachers aren't even making $50,000 a year.
Bro, we have so many more teachers, bro. The teaching industry be flooded if every teacher, if the average teaching salary increased by 25 G's, bro.
Yeah. So
and one billionaire could take away. Even one of those guys at the top can literally fix our whole education system.
Yep. So let's go over here and do it. Let's play. Hold on. We're gonna go right here. This is epic fun. Google. Let's do a calculator, right? We're gonna say, what do you want to do? $25,000.
Yeah.
$25,000 times, let's say 3.5 million. Oh no, we said 4 million, didn't we?
4 million.
So that's how much money we need to come up with. Now let's remember, every 3 is a comma, right? So there's our first 3. There's our next 3. That's 100 million, right? So this would be $100 billion. So basically we need 2 Waltons, and we'd have way more money than we need. If we took 2 Waltons and split their money up, we could give all 4 million teachers in the United States an extra $25,000 a year, right? Which would change their life. But if you took a 3rd Walton into the case, right, and we just add another zero on,
just keep doing it. Right? You just keep going on for years.
That's what I'm saying. It take 3 billion, three ridiculously wealthy billionaires that are making around the 60 billion mark, right? 3 or 4 of them. I mean, if you want to throw another one into the mix, we could go ahead and do it. Let's pay them another zero, right? We're gonna go. Actually, no. Let's do it this way. Let's get them an extra $100,000 a year. Right. Boom. There's our number. All right. So we just took our 4 million teachers and we gave them all an extra $100,000 a year. Right. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're at $400 billion. So we need about what? 6.5 billionaires that are making that number, or we could just take some people higher up on the chart. You saw what
you take the 2 off the top.
You saw what Bezos is making,
right?
Good, bro. And that's why when we talk about that much concentrated wealth of how much we're talking about, we could literally pay. We could take like the top 3 billionaires off the list, right? Take all of their money. Now, granted, that's a lot of money, but I'm just saying, take 3 human beings have that though. And you can pay all 4 million teachers in the United States an extra $100,000 a year. And here's my last point. Who would you want to have more money at their job? If you have kids, of course you want teachers to be the highest paid people. Like and people be like, they're late. All these tropes and memes that are there so late. No, bro. Everybody. If I told little kids right now, if I said, hey, you know what teachers make? They make $150,000 a year. You know how many people want to grow up and be teachers? Yeah. Right? Oh yeah, you can teach kindergarten and make $150,000 a year. And guess who's going to become the teachers? The best of the best 4 million people in this country are going to be doing it. Not just people who are like bleeding hearts who wanted to do it. You're going to have the sharpest minds and intellects ever going, what do I need to do to get trained to be a teacher? Where do I need to get my degree? What kind of study do I need to do? Man. Do I need to take Plord's class from AQ, ACE certified, the Association of College and University Educators, ACE credentialed, effective college teaching practices of 25 modules that I've taught 4 times for our faculty? You know what I'm saying? Like right. Most people don't ever get to take that stuff. You just become a teacher. actually teachers are different than professors. I was getting off my rocker that professors, I mean, just any old person off the street who has the degree can become a professor. You don't have to have any teaching credentials whatsoever. Just have the degree. If the university thinks that you're going to get published and that your degree is worthy, they'll be like, oh yeah, we'll take a start with you. Well, guess what? You're teaching 2 to 3 classes next semester, and we're paying you $125,000, and we just need you to publish a few articles this year and bring in some grant money, and you're good. That's the teacher training that takes place in the majority of and I am not exaggerating. Someone else is going to be like, no, when I first became a teacher, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had 6 years of high school teaching experience and a bunch of adjunct. That's way more than most people who walk into it. And that was only because I was doing that like at age 30 and not at age 22. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
most people walking in and be like, I've never taught a class in my life. Dead up. At least the educators in our country, they go through teacher training usually, and they come out of a school for teaching or education. Not always, though. You know what I'm saying? This is why professional development is so needed. But I'm just saying, if you can't concentrate that much wealth in the hands of a Walmart or whatever, because that's what happens. 3 people are goggling up that kind of money that could have paid, back when I was doing the $25,000 example. And now we'd have the best and brightest teachers in the world in our country. And everybody would be like, yo, how come your teachers are such rock stars? It's incredible. Everyone wants to be a teacher. And wow, you guys have just solved the STEM crisis. You've solved the literacy crisis. You've solved any course, everything. Crisis.
Bro, that would literally, bro, change the entire complexion, and that would change what most people don't know because of our military power, how far we are behind in every other category that matters, like education, and behind other countries when it comes to how educated our youth and stuff are, man. Yeah. That would solve that problem, bro, and put us at the pinnacle of resolving a lot of the issues that we have when you get the best and the brightest minds into an institution, into a culture that everyone goes through. This is
Natalia, what up? She's like, I'm a Walton and I'm broke. That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
What's up, man? It's crazy that everybody goes through the public school system or the school system in America, bro. And we don't.
I mean, it's not going to guarantee though. But it's not going to. I'm not saying it's going to guarantee that every single person now is going to be a man. But you would know people would be fighting their butt off to become teachers. And I don't even want to
restrict it, bro. You had to restrict
absolutely. No, you wouldn't have to because everybody would be. Imagine the influx of applications. I mean, it'd be off the chain. Now, when you look in the business world, why do you think everybody wants to work at State Street Bank or whatever? It's because you're walking into a lot of these jobs, the starting jobs are like in the high 100Ks, you're like, oh, it's 180. Yeah. If you just say the words, I want to be an investment banker, right? And you actually get into that, or you want to do, any kind of, mortgage and lending and those kind of people moving at large assets, right? Like those kind of bankers, dude, like we know that money is in that realm. Most people are never going to make that much money in their life of what their starting salaries are at some of these companies,
Right.
That's why people say, oh, I want to be a business major. Not everybody gets there, but people coming out of the elite Ivy League schools or whatever, people are waiting at the doorstep for them to graduate their diploma, competing to get the best of those minds and be like, yeah, we get this 180,000 jobs starting for you all the time,
all the time.
Same thing with, biotech, all that kind of stuff. They pay ridiculous money, and their bonuses are insane. Their bonuses are quite literally more than you said.
Then when you count the bonuses that's added to the money that they already make with that, bro, it's crazy. I don't even know how to explain the disparity of wealth, man, that exists in our.
Well, remember, you don't have to because no one's looking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the masses of people who have the power are not looking because we're busy complaining about dumb stuff,
Right.
And we do it too. Like, we're going to talk about Kanye West. We're going to talk about blah, blah, blah. We're going to talk about the exception to the rule, the shiny objects that grab our attention. I mean, we got to, in a way, right. But at the same time, it's like you got to take these moments of clarity and be like, is this really what, like, just so thinking tomorrow when you go to the store, just think about what store you're going to go to. Like, are you going to Mobile for your gas, or are you going to the gas station closer to you? It's just,
right.
I don't know. It's just something worth thinking about. I'm not saying you got to go out and do it all, but it's like we all got to buy from the beast at some point. But it's like, is there a time that we don't have to buy from the beast?
Is there a time that we don't have to, bro? Absolutely. Absolutely. So speaking of which, man, I watch your Boston Celtics, man.
Oh, don't wait. No, I got to get off because I got to get off right now. We can't have any Celtic talk. If you're going to talk about tonight's game, we can't talk about it. So
I'm not
with
about
that,
to talk about the game.
no, don't be talking about the game. If you're talking about,
I am not going to talk about the game.
okay. You were going to talk about trades.
I'm talking about the trade deadline. I know the lucky Irish is not with you when you know the score or what's going on with the game during the game. So I was only going to talk about the trade and Brad Stevens' desperate attempt to get under the salary cap. Man, it's just like he must got something going on that we don't know about, bro. Because man, he sold the bag. Like, I mean, he emptied the bag.
Yeah, they always got something we don't know. Yeah, but I mean, also, I really think also what they did is they just kept all the real talent, and you know, not to say that some of the people they got rid of aren't good. It's just that they're replaceable. You know, they kept what they feel is the non-replaceable kind of components right now, and everybody else can go. And they're like,
Yeah.
I got no problem with that.
They
No
overpaid Josh Richardson, which I thought that was a move of alignment to get to kind of match some salaries to make a big move to get one of those, get that third person.
He's a luxury, you know, like he should really go to another team because it's like, honestly, he's nice. He does what he needs to do when he comes in.
But he's not worth what they gave him.
He's not worth what they gave him. No. And it's not that he's not worth it. It's that they just got other players in those positions that, you know, he's basically Jason Tatum's position. I mean, Jaylen Brown's position. You know, he's a shooting guard. You know, who would you rather have? I mean, give me Jaylen Brown. You know what I'm saying? And Jaylen Brown's not letting up on many minutes. So he's wonderful to have come in, but we got deficits in other areas. And so you got to shift stuff around and be like, okay, we're overloaded at swingman and, you know, 2s and 3s. So we need some 1s and 4s and 5s, you know?
And you guys still don't have a true point guard, man.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The ones. And there's a space open for Isaiah. So with that, man, I'm about ready to bow out unless you got else to say, because I gotta go watch these dudes blow the games and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
No, bro. I just got through checking in on my Bulls, bro. We get another dub out of it, man. We killing it this year. We was trying to get Schroeder from you guys. I don't know what happened, man. How we sold it back, because we definitely need some help at the one position, man. We got injured and banged up pretty bad, and so we was kind of struggling.
Schroeder's very serviceable, man.
Yeah, he's very serviceable, man.
He's not gonna win you a title. He's not going to win you a title, but he would if you had 4 amazing other players. If he's your 4th or 5th best offensive, then you're winning a title. You know,
that would have been our case.
Yeah, in our case, he was like 3rd or 4th as well. He probably has to be your 5th best offensive player. You know, and no, be your 4th best and have no discrepancy at the guard position, because he was killing it when he was starting for the Celtics. It was just, you know, we need the Marcus Smart defense so he doesn't get in there as much, and you know that's what it is. On certain teams, if he's your 4th, 5th best guy, you're gonna be great. So yeah, I think it would be
he's really an off-ball guard.
Yeah,
with
point
guard size.
Body.
Yeah. So yeah, you need to pair him with somebody with a big guard. You know that like that doesn't need the ball, but it's a facilitator. So it didn't really work out with him. Like he'd probably work out well with like a Luka, because Luka can handle the ball. He's a big guard and he can actually be your playmaker.
Yeah.
And the shooter can play off of him and just get you.
I mean, and now we just disrupted chemistry, so it's going to be a while. We'll figure out what's going to go on, but I'm excited. Bro. But hey, we're going to sign off because I got to go do it. So let's get us out of here, and hopefully we'll see. Yo, I got to figure out. I can't remember offhand next week if one of our 2 guests was coming on, so I'll make the announcement early in the week, and we'll figure it out.
Yes.
All right. Peace, y'all. Thanks for chiming in and putting up the last of the couple comments there before we go out. The school system is indoctrination of superiority in the U.S. with some science and math add in the U.S. books and textbook racism by definition. Yeah, I agree with some of that. Take one. I don't know what he meant by this. It would take 1 million times the entire U.S. gold reserves to make all U.S. citizens a millionaire. I'm not trying to make all U.S. citizens a millionaire. I'm just trying to make the teachers make make what a good Wall Street entry salary would be, or a good
I don't
investment
think any
banker.
teacher should make less than $60K, bro. I'm just saying.
Oh, hell no. Especially if you live in the city. You know what I'm saying? It's like where cities are more expensive to live in most cases, and that's where we need the best teachers. So, all right, Joe, we out.
All right, bro.
Appreciate y'all. Peace.